Okay, I'm going to show you how to go about making the mermaid pattern that I have. And we're going to start off with the head, and we're going to do a little bit of a different cast on. I'm going to be using the Cindy Wood Loom 18 peg half gauge, and it's going to be easier to do this pattern on an even peg loom, and I'll explain why. Mostly because you're working with a doll that's kind of based off the human body, and so you've got two sides, and having even pegs makes it easier to figure out even sidings. So I'm going to be using the Hometown USA Lions brand yarn, which is going to be bulky, and I'm going to show you how to do a peg doubling E-wrap cast on. Yes, it's a mouthful. So what I'm going to do, and I don't normally do this kind of cast on this way, but this is the way it works best. So you E-wrap the peg, and then you E-wrap it again, and you toss the bottom loop over. Then you E-wrap the peg, and then E-wrap again, toss the bottom loop over, pick up the loop, move it to the previous peg. E-wrap, E-wrap again, toss the bottom loop over. Take that loop you just moved and move it back to the original. Now you have 2 stitches on one peg. And they are 2 stitches, and you are going to work them separately. And what I'm planning on doing is every other peg I'm going to have the peg doubling E-wrap cast on. So this one will be normal, and this one will have the peg doubling. Toss over, move, toss over, and move back. And this one will be regular. And this one will be doubled. Move to the previous. And move this one back. This means that every other peg has 2 stitches on it. So instead of there being 18 stitches, you're going to have 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So you'll have 27 stitches rather than 18. And how you're going to work that when you go into E-wrap a row, and this is going to show you how to E-wrap a row. You're going to E-wrap the first one, E-wrap the next one, toss only the top loop over, pick up, move to the previous peg, E-wrap, toss the bottom loop over, pick up, move to the next, move back to where it was originally. And the reason why I move it back is so that when you go to do the next row, you can keep with the flow. Because once you get the hang of this, it'll go a lot faster. So E-wrap, then E-wrap, move over, E-wrap, and move back. And the purpose of peg doubling is if you want to continue with a circular design without having a break to add a seam or anything, and you want to go down smaller, this is helpful. Particularly with my mermaid pattern, I have the bottom half of the face is bigger, where the cheek area and stuff is going to be, but I want the upper half of the face to be smaller and have an indentation. And this technique is what makes that helpful. But you always have to keep in mind with what order your doubled pegs are. You want to make sure that they stay in a nice flowing order, which is a reason why I always move mine back. There's no confusion. And while it feels a little time consuming, it is worth the effort when you're going for a particular shape. Last one. Now we have just done a row of E-wrap with the double peg row, the double stitch pegs. And that is an E-wrap row. And that's basically how you go about doing a row with the peg double E-wrap, is what I'll call it. Now for the mermaid head, what we're going to do is we're going to stick with what I just did, moving everything over. And you're going to do that a total of 6 times. So you're going to pause the video and you're going to continue this for 5 more times, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I have done 6 rows, and you see that it comes and actually hugs around the loom. Now we're going to do the indentation where the nose is, and we're going to keep the back half. This back half, we're going to keep it as is, doing the double peg E-wrap. But on the front half of the face, we're going to actually just E-wrap to get rid of that extra and actually get the decrease in the face so that we start to have that curve in where the eyes will go. So what we're going to do is we're going to E-wrap 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what we're going to do is we're going to toss over, and then we're going to decrease. So you're going to toss both loops over, and then toss over, and then decrease, and then toss over, and then decrease, toss over, and then decrease, and then toss over. Okay, now we've just created an indented area right where the face will go, where the eyes are. Okay, and then what we're going to do at this point is we're going to continue the peg doubling E-wrap on the back half. Okay. At this point, you're going to continue this for another 4 more rows. So you're going to now be E-wrapping 9 and then working your peg doubling E-wrap pegs with E-wrap in between those. And you're going to do that for 4 more rows. Just go ahead and pause the video and do that for 4 more rows, and then we'll go from there. Okay, at this point we're fixing to get down to actually 18 pegs. But as you can see, it's pushing out more. And while it doesn't look much like a head now, we're going to be gathering in that bottom section so that it curves under. So at this point, just go ahead and E-wrap all 18 pegs. And naturally on those double stitch ones you're going to be decreasing to get you back down to get you to 18 pegs. Okay, and then we're going to E-wrap for 3 more rows. So here's row 1. Here's row 2. And row 3. Okay, and what you're going to do now is you're going to go in and you're going to decrease by every other peg and toss the bottom loop over. Because we're fixing to do a drawstring cast off and finish the head up. Now you're going to cut you a tail, and then you're going to drawstring cast off. And then you'll want to take a extra strand and weave it in and out, and then drawstring it together, and you should see with the first decrease here where the actual face is, and you should see it developing when you drawstring it in like that. And there you see the curvature, and it'll stick out more when you actually stuff it, but there's the actual curvature of the face. So there's your head, and while it doesn't look like much now, it'll have more shape when you stuff it and actually gather in the bottom. So next we're going to start on the body, and with this one we're just going to do a regular E-wrap cast on. I'm going to E-wrap 5 rows. So go ahead and pause the video and complete your 5 rows for your body, and I will show you how to create the bust area for the body. Just go ahead and pause the video and complete. Okay, we've done our 5 rows, and now we're going to complete the bust area, and we're going to divide the loom in half, which means it's 9, and we're going to work with generally 4 pegs, and we're going to overlap the center one for the odd peg out. So what we're going to do is we're going to E-wrap 4. We're going to work one breast at a time. You're going to wrap and turn and E-wrap 3. Wrap and turn, E-wrap 2. Wrap and turn, E-wrap 1. Wrap and turn, E-wrap 2. Adding the wrap and turn back in. E-wrap 2, add a wrap and turn peg back in. E-wrap 3, add the wrap and turn. And then E-wrap 4 and add the wrap and turn back in at the end. Okay, we'll have just completed one breast. Now we're going to want to complete the other one. So we're going to E-wrap all the way over. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. Okay. And okay, we've just E-wrapped 9. What we're going to do is we're going to wrap and turn that 10th peg, and then we're going to E-wrap over 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Wrap and turn. E-wrap 3. Wrap and turn. E-wrap 2. Wrap and turn, E-wrap 1, wrap and turn, E-wrap 2, including that wrap and turn, and then you're going to E-wrap 2 and then include that wrap and turn. Then you're going to E-wrap 3 and include a wrap and turn. And then you're going to E-wrap and include wrap and turn. Okay. And you should feel that that gives you 2. You'll see 2 indentions. There's 1. And there's the other for the bust area. And yes, we do have an extra wrap and turn. We're just going to E-wrap back over. That's fine. So now we're going to E-wrap 9 back to our starting point. At this point, you're going to continue to E-wrap around like normal, and you're going to do this for 4 rows. Just go ahead and pause the video and do 4 rows of E-wrap, and then we'll go there and create the hips. Okay, we have finished our waist area, and as you can see, there's your bust. And we're fixing to start on the hip area, hip and the bottom area, which is going to be a series of wrap and turns. And we're going to be switching up in the middle to change colors so that the fin color changes when it should. So what we're going to do is we're going to E-wrap 3 in to start the hip area. Then we're going to wrap and turn, and we're going to E-wrap all the way around, and then we're going to stop on this peg, and we're going to leave this peg alone. So we're going to E-wrap all the way around. And this peg's going to be wrap and turn because we don't want to mess with that peg. Okay, so go ahead and toss all the loops over. And then we're not going to mess with that wrap and turn there. Okay, then we're going to do a wrap and turn, and then we're going to stop just before the last wrap and turn. Stopping just before that last one. Toss all your loops over. Okay, and make sure you don't toss that last wrap and turn over. Then you're going to wrap and turn again, and you're going to E-wrap all the way around until just before you get to the other side. And you're going to continue this wrap and turn process back and forth with single loops surrounded by wrap and turns. And continue. Actually continue till you're down to 9 pegs, and then you're going to switch color. So stop just before that last wrap and turn. So go ahead and pause the video and get your loom down to 9 pegs with single loops in between your wrap and turns, and then we're going to prep to change the color, and then we're going to continue on from there. Okay, we've completed that much. There's 9, see, from one side to the other with single pegs in between wrap and turns. Now we're going to connect our new color, and this is also Lion's brand, Hometown USA, and I think it's Pink Azalea. No, excuse me, Phoenix Azalea. So if you really like this color, you can get it that way. Okay, so I'm going to do a color change, and I'm going to do this as close to it as I can. I'm going to push it all the way down there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie the other one around in a half knot, and I'm going to try to get as close to that as possible. Now what I'm going to do is pull it snug. Now that's not going to move, that's not going to change, that's not going to do anything. Now what I want to do is cut that very short. And that is actually called a fisherman's knot, and I've seen it also called a magic knot, but then all the knot books I have, they call it a fisherman's knot. So at this point, we're going to E-wrap over until getting just before the last wrap and turn, and we're going to stop, toss these loops over, then we're going to wrap and turn until we get just before the last wrap and turn. Toss the bottom loops over. Then we're going to wrap and turn and then go all the way to the other side and stop right in front of the last wrap and turn, which should be that. At this point, we're going to start adding the wrap and turns back in. So we're going to start adding the wrap and turns back in. So we're going to ear up all the way over and add this wrap and turn in. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to continue to go back and forth, adding our wrap and turns back in until we have no more wrap and turns. So go ahead and pause the video and continue going back and forth, adding in the wrap and turns until you have no more. And then we will go from there to work on finishing up the tail. Okay, we've added in our last wrap and turn. And here is what we've got so far on our body. You can see the bust area, you can see the back. And when we go in to continue this, we're going to start seeing more of the hippie area that a mermaid would have. So since this is my last wrap and turn, you see we have one more cream loop in there. What you're going to do is you're going to go back the direction you came. You're going to stop at your original ending peg. And you're going to toss all those loops over. At this point, you're going to go in and E-wrap 6 rows. Going back here at your original starting point. So do 6 rows, and then we'll go from there to create a bend at the knee area. Let's go ahead and pause the video. Okay, we've done our 6 rows. Now we're to the knees. So we're going to be working the front half area, the front 9, and we're going to do a series of wrap and turns until we're down to 5 single loops in between wrap and turns. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. We're going to E-wrap over 8. Toss our loops over. Okay. At this point we're going to wrap and turn and E-wrap over 7, I'm pretty sure. Don't touch that last wrap and turn. And you're going to wrap and turn and E-wrap over until just before the last wrap and turn, which there's your last wrap and turn. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to wrap and turn. You're going to E-wrap 2, 3, 4, 5, just before the last wrap and turn. And then you're going to wrap and turn one more time and E-wrap 5 all the way over. You should have 2 wrap and turns on each side. Now we're going to add those wrap and turns back in. So you're going to E-wrap, toss the first wrap and turn back in, then you're going to E-wrap back the other direction, toss the next wrap and turn peg back in, you're going to E-wrap back the other direction, toss and get the next wrap and turn, the last one on this side, back in. And because there's one more wrap and turn left, we're just going to E-wrap the row. So go ahead and E-wrap the full 18. Toss both those loops over on that last wrap and turn. Okay. At this point, what you'll want to do, you'll see your knee area right there. And you should start to see the body. And when you start stuffing, all this will even out. And there's your knee area and everything. So what you want to do is go ahead and pause the video and knit 3 more rows, and then we'll go ahead and we'll start doing the decrease down to the point. Our actual fins, I'm going to show you how to do a lace technique so that you can sew the fins on, and we'll do a lace technique to put around the waist to give a little bit nice accent on the body. So go ahead and pause the video and complete 3 more rows, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I have done my 3 rows, and now we're going to start working on decreasing the fin down to a point. So what we're going to do is we're going to E-wrap 9, then 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, we're going to E-wrap 13 and then stop, because we need to start decreasing. Okay, and there is our halfway. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick that next loop up, move it over to the next peg, E-wrap those together, and then get back to your starting point. At this point, we're fixing to start working flat. And what you're going to do is you're going to E-wrap all the way over and stop, and then you're going to E-wrap all the way back. And then we're going to start decreasing. So E-wrap all the way over. I realize there's a lot of sections to this, but there's a lot of shape that goes with a mermaid. Okay. Then we're going to E-wrap our way back. Then we're going to start decreasing. Okay. Sometimes those end pegs can give you a little trouble. Okay. At this point, we're going to do a very gradual decrease down to a point. And how we're going to do that is you're going to decrease by 1 on each side. There's that decrease, and decrease over here. Then you're going to E-wrap that row, and then you're going to E-wrap a normal row. Then you're going to decrease again. I'm going to show you this once so you get the general idea. So you're going to E-wrap this row, toss both those loops over on that decrease, okay, we've just done our decrease row, and at this point we're going to E-wrap the row. So just E-wrap. Then the next row you're going to decrease, and then you're going to E-wrap, and you're just going to do this 2-row kind of set. One row is a decrease row, the next row is an E-wrap row. One row is a decrease row, and one row is an E-wrap row. And this is a gradual decrease down to a point. And you're going to do this until you are down to 1, and then you're going to snip the end and pull it through. So now that we've done a normal row, we're going to decrease by 1 on each side, and then continue to E-wrap, and then E-wrap 1, and then decrease on both sides, E-wrap, then E-wrap 1, and then decrease again until you're down to 1 peg. Then you're going to snip the end and pull it through. And so you can kind of see what we have here. Once you've completed that, and you'll want to sew up that little tail area, and you'll want to stuff the body and everything and sew the head on. Okay, to do the arm, you want to start off with a flat drawstring cast on, and then you want to E-wrap 4 rows. After you E-wrap the 4 rows, we're going to add a thumb. And what you want to do is you want to E-wrap 4 pegs. Then we're going to take these 2 pegs and we're going to E-wrap them for 5 rows. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to bring the original loops back, and you go to the next unworked peg, and there's your your attached connecting strand right there, which means there's your pull-up. There's your original. So there. Okay, then E-wrap 4. Then you're going to E-wrap a row. Okay, now we're going to decrease by 1 on each side. And now we're going to E-wrap. And this puts the indention in on our hand, which is right here. Okay, after this row, at this point you want to E-wrap for 10 rows back and forth, and then you'll cast off, and then you'll want to sew up the back side of the arm. And so like this is what it'll look like, and you're going to want to sew up this side back here, and the drawstring gets it all nice and closed off. So that's your arm. And then you'll want to do this next technique for your fin area, like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to be working an 8-peg increment, and so I'll show you how to do that. If you've done my summer lace bolero, you've done this already, and if you haven't, well, I'll show you how to do it. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do the lace trim for the fins. For the fins and around the hips. And what you're going to do to start out is you're going to E-wrap 8. Okay. You're going to E-wrap 8, and then you're going to E-wrap 2 rows. This just gets you started. Okay, that just gets you started. Now, this row is the first row of the set. So, what you want to do is you want to E-wrap 2. You want to decrease, which is simply taking that loop, moving it to the next one, next peg. Then you're going to yarn over by laying the working yarn over the peg, E-wrap 5 to the end. And then you'll toss over both loops there, and then over. And then we're going to be working a series of short rows. So you want to E-wrap 3, wrap and turn, E-wrap 3, and don't toss over that wrap and turn peg right there. Then you're going to E-wrap chain 4. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to E-wrap 2, wrap and turn, E-wrap 3. Don't touch that wrap and turn peg. And then you're going to E-wrap 5. And that peg with all the wrap and turns, you're going to toss all 3 loops over. Then when you get to that yarn over peg, you're going to purl. And E-wrap 2. Now you want to E-wrap 4. You're going to decrease by 1, yarn over, and E-wrap 3. Now you want to E-wrap 3, purl one, purl the yarn over, and then E-wrap 4. Okay, at this point you've just completed a complete set. And what the complete set looks like, you get it off the loom, is that right there. There's your first hole, there's your second hole, and there's your chain. And so that is what it looks like. And what you're doing is you're repeating that we just did from the first decrease on the second. You're going to do those rows. You're going to do that set a total of 7 times for the hip area and 11 times for the actual fin area here. And you're going to repeat that however many times, whether you're doing your fin or your hips. And then when you do it the last time, to finish, E-wrap 2 rows and then cast off. That's how you're going to finish, so that you have it even on one side, the same on one side and the same on the other. You did 2 E-wraps to start, you'll do 2 E-wraps to finish, and then cast off. So I'm going to need to do this one 7 total times because it's for my hips. But if you're doing the fin, it's 11 total times. If you're doing the hips, it's 7 total times. And the best way to know how many times you've done it is you can actually count the E-wrap chains on the end. So go ahead and pause the video and finish up your hip trim and your fins, and then I will show you how to go about putting everything together, and we will go from there. We're to the last finishing touches of our mermaid, and I've gone in and I've sewn the head on, and you'll notice the original decrease right there, which is where the cheek area is, and you'll notice it's fairly subtle, but it has a nice shape to it. And I've sewn the arms with the thumbs up at the very top of the body. I've also closed up any holes like that was there in the chest and the side, and I've sewn on my fin. And what I did was start at the bottom and sew up around on the side and around on the back and down back to the side to finish up. And I'm going to sew, it's up to you. I'm thinking about sewing it where it sticks up, or it can lay down, or you can skip adding it all together, but I'm going to add it, and I think I'm going to have mine sticking up. Now we want to add our hair strips in, and so what we want to do is take our 30 hair strip wrap, and you're going to wrap it right around that crown right there, and you're going to line it up, and you're going to, after you line it up, you're going to put a strip of glue in, and then you're going to go in and press it down. Then you're going to take and pull back the other half. And put that down there. And that covers covers the crown. Pull that down a little bit. Now, we want to add our center part, which is this here. And it's going to take that whole center bit up. So, what we want to do is add glue in here. And I'm going to add a little glue on the side. Okay. Then we're going to take this and we're going to lightly press that in. Pull that back. Okay. And there is your hair. This is hard to get in here because this is getting big enough. Okay. Now we need to glue in our eyes. Which you're going to need to go about right there. Okay, I'm going to move the hair out of the way. Add a little glue to my button. Find where I want my eye to go, which is about there. And this is just a general gauge. There's no specifics on getting the eyes in there. Okay, and I think that'll go good right about there. Okay, but after you sew everything on and everything and all that, and you attach your trim, you're done. This is how you make your mermaid. So after you do that, you're done.